Hi everybody. I thought I would do video on relationships. Heaven knows I've had enough of them, and I can share what it's like being an introvert and a shy person, and trying to date people. And I'm talking mostly from my perspective of being a guy, but there's ways you could turn around what I say and maybe make it work for you if you're a girl or lady watching, and I hope you are watching. In high school, pretty much I was a loser when it came to asking girls out on dates. I wasn't a football player. I wasn't a track player. I wasn't a basketball or baseball player. I wasn't a class president. I was just there. Just a guy making average grades. So I did what I had to find dates. I went to a public school, but I would go to Catholic girls' schools that had sock hops, or dances. They did not restrict you from another high school. You could, in fact, since it was a girls' school that was having the dance, they invited all high school people to come and join. Don't think it cost a penny. That's where I met the people that I dated. At my own school, I was shy, bashful. People saw me as just an old shy guy. Then when I went to college, I went to a small college at first, and carried with me the same stigma of shyness. I said I got to break out of this, so I went to university, where there's a lot of people and people didn't know me from the past. It was Western Kentucky University. So I got to find out how to meet people. Well, they had a snack bar. I'd go into the snack bar and I would say, if a girl was sitting by herself or a couple girls were sitting at a table having a snack, a hamburger or cheeseburger, fries, I'd say, could you use any company? And they'd always say, yeah. Yeah. They didn't know I was shy. They didn't care. We had a lot of good meetings that way and a lot of good dates. Other times, as a college student, I did my own laundry at a laundromat, and I would look around and see other college girls that might be doing their laundry, and I would sit down by one and ask if she was a college student here at Western, and most of the time they said yes, and we struck things up. I always saw myself as not appealing to women, okay? Not the type they would go for. So I was always surprised. I was always surprised when they said, sure, I'll go out with you when you want to go out on a date. And that was another way of meeting people. Another way of meeting people was I found the largest church there in town, with the most teenagers. What a way to find a church, right? With the most teenagers, being college students, I mean. And I got to know guys and girls there, but especially if there was someone that was attractive to me, I would ask her out. I don't ever remember anyone in that church that turned me down for a date, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it was a different type of girl that went there than the sorority girls. Although I ended up dating a couple sorority girls and was shocked that they would go with me because I was independent. I was not in a fraternity. So, tell you about this one girl. She belonged to a sorority and very nice, but she smoked a pipe. That was cool because I smoked a pipe too back then. So, moving right along, not all the dates ended up good. I was not what you would call a person that tried to have sex with everybody that I met. So, but what I didn't know, because of the background I had background of conservative Christian. So I never did do that. Come on to a girl for that. Although I had at least 3 wonderful looking girls not date me again on the second date, and they said, without me asking, they said, and you know why? You know why we're not going to go out again? They left it that way. Okay. So much for that. But I was having a good run with overcoming my shyness and meeting and having good relationships until I graduated. When I graduated, it all turned around. They weren't the same. They didn't think the same as the ones at the college from the church and other places that I asked. They, I could make a date and show up at their apartment, and there'd be another guy there. I'm just not going to go into detail, but I could hear him talking. And I'd knock at the door and it'd get quiet real fast. And I had already verified that we had an appointment that same day. And then I had girls I thought that we had a real good relationship, and I found out that they were more involved with other guys, but telling me that I was the only guy. So there's a relationship problem that I know you could be facing yourself. So you're not alone. And then there's this, I see it on the internet sometimes, one night stands, girls and guys both wanting to know what's wrong with them, that they can't have a steady relationship. Why do they end up getting divorced quick? I don't have the right answers for that. I really don't, except for one. I'll leave you all with one solution that could work. So many people, two solutions. So many people get married before 26 or 27. I got married at 26. Until then, it's too rocky. People change too much. They don't know really what they want and how many other men or women could change their mind if they got married earlier, like at 19, 20, 21. Even my brother, I hate to say it, got married at 19 and to a college girl. And it lasted until his 60s. And she decided to sneak. Nobody knew this, including her 2 daughters, to sneak back with her high school sweetheart. And then I get a phone call one day and she says, he got the papers. I said, what papers? Talking about Ken, my brother. He got the papers for divorce. I was shocked. He was on his way to teach a class in biology at Fresno City College in California. And a lady in blue jeans tapped him on the back and said, are you Kenneth Wortham? And he said, yes. And she handed the paperwork to him. That's called serving the paperwork. And what happened is that, I'll just share this, it did not end well for either him or her. Neither are alive now. And so those are things about a relationship that can happen if you get married too soon. And so I was told once in some class, if your chances of staying married are better if you get married after you're 26 or 27. And I must have followed that advice. It was 26 when I got married. Okay, there was a second thing that I was going to share with you. And it is, never marry anyone till you know them for at least a year. It's like, you know those little spinning wheels you can spin around? It's like you get to see all sides of them within a year. The bad, the good, the frustration, the anger, the hatred, the everything. And if it's more than a year, so much the better. For me, it was more than a year. If anybody was helped by this, feel free to just leave me a short note. This was just off the wall because I had 3 things listed that people look for on YouTube. Health, which I did just before this one. Wealth, which I've done other videos on the stock market. And this one, relationships. So, for what it's worth, I know there's a lot on each of those subjects, but I'm just talking from having horse sense. I'm talking about experience that I've had. And if you can apply any of it or add it to what you know about relationships, I hope it helps. Thank you for joining me during this unplanned thought. As you know, it's the way I do things is with no paperwork, usually no paperwork, and with no plan other than spontaneous memories, spontaneous thoughts. So you're getting the real me, and I hope you enjoyed this tonight.